Well, hello everyone. Danny Hauger here with an overview of how I started polishing Satin finished guitars to try to get something close to high gloss. And this adventure started because I just couldn't help myself from buying a new guitar every 6 months. And I was always looking at sort of a guitar in the collection thinking that it was the lead and starting to feel like I was just kind of cycling through, like always selling one and getting something new. And I thought maybe I could do more to attach myself to my instruments, feel like I have a little bit more invested physically, mentally, emotionally. So here we are. Hi, Delaney. I started taking this Martin Streetmaster, which sonically, I absolutely think is close to perfection. It's a little small for my hand, but instead of trading it in, I thought, well, what if I just hand polished it to get it to that nice gloss that I'm accustomed to thinking of as my favorite, whether it's a Breedlove guitar and they're also beautifully finished, or just another example of an acoustic with nitrocellulose that just shines. And I know that some people say that the finish, if it's too strong, might reduce the vibration or the amount of movement you get from the guitar top or the soundboard. But I'm willing to bet that the benefits of having a conditioned, polished, finished top that is resistant to those little dings and scratches, I think is a wonderful thing. But really, I'm not gonna lie, it's aesthetically pleasing. And so I've always loved the Adirondack sound of this top with the rosewood back and sides, and I've kept it in my room for a long time. And I never really got into the idea of the Streetmaster line that you want it to look aged and played in and tired and old. I get the classic look on a real vintage instrument, but to pay new for something that looks beat up and that even was physically roughed up a bit to look like it had tarnished, never really gelled with me, especially when the sound was so beautiful. And it does have the VTS like vintage top. And all my Breedloves are polished, but I would look at this one and just think like, oh, I bet it would look really nice if it was just glossier. And if it's a sign of weakness on my part, it's subjective, right? But I really like the look of a gloss top finish. So I bought some Meguiar's Fine Cut. I also bought some Ernie Ball. That's the bottle that you just saw. That might have been the Meguiar's. But I bought some Ernie Ball instrument polish. For whatever oddity of a reason, the Meguiar's I got was like sticking to the cap in and out. Maybe it sat too long at the warehouse, but I think they're being courteous and they're going to send another one. The Ernie Ball polish just didn't really seem to be shiny in the very first initial bottle, so I am getting a second bottle, and I'm just doing the Meguiar's about 3-4 coats with 10-minute breaks in between, and then hitting the Ernie Ball about 3 times 10-minute breaks for the finishing shine. And what I did was 4 or 5 coats of Meguiar's, all done with microfiber cloth by hand, and you're seeing the hour markers fly by, because it is quite the process. But if you watch movies or TV shows at night, or are you a fan of sports, a couple games and you could be well into a completed finish. I'll tell you too, I was checking out my Breedlove Atlas Stage Maple Flame back and sides that had been scratched before I bought it. It's like the only Breedlove I bought secondhand. And I was able to use a drill bit attachment that I bought on Amazon and just a regular drill and kind of buff polish it. But what I didn't like was how uneven it got in different spots. I couldn't seem to keep a consistency as I went around the body. There were like shiny splotches and dull splotches and swirls, and it didn't seem to give me that sense of quality control. Where you see here after hour 4, it's fairly uniform. The most difficult parts to polish are around the saddle and bridge and under the strings, which of course you would take them off if you were less lazy. You would take them off. I actually loosened them up a bit and started to work over them today, and it's fine now. But I was pretty happy with the way this top looked and shone through. It definitely isn't like the high gloss nitro finish that you might get on a brand new D45 or something, but I think it's greatly improved from where we started. And maybe the most important thing as we get into hour 3, 4, 5 is I start to feel more connected to the instrument and to the wood because I've put some sweat equity into it. And I definitely don't want to sell it anymore. I was thinking about getting rid of this one, and I had been looking at new Breedloves to buy, and I will certainly still be looking at new Breedloves, but it's given me the confidence to try polishing another instrument from scratch or even a brand new build. And so I recently got offered an Epiphone SJ 200 1957 inspired by Gibson Custom Shop, longest title in the world, for like half of retail. And I'm going to try to polish that up as well. And I'm going to put that in my Noel Gallagher, I don't want to say shrine, but I have a corner in my room with a ES335 in red, and it's an Epiphone model. And I have some framed Paul Fellows art that I purchased from him. They're just beautiful. And I love Oasis, and I'm not going to be able to afford tour tickets. So I thought I could just have a pair of Epiphones in the family room in my little Noel Gallagher makeshift corner, and then have all my Breedloves here in my studio with me that I'm using to record each album. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, so stay tuned. And if you have any comments or questions, let me know. But it's all hand polish. It's a lot slower, but it's a lot neater and more manageable. So let's check into that Epiphone and let's get to work on that next. Thanks so much. Hope you're enjoying listening to this music. Danny Hauger Music. Subscribe, like, share, and check out the next video for more. Thanks a bunch. And I'm an independent artist with original music. Check out the albums All Sides of Me or Unplugged at Abbey Road, wherever you get your music. Thanks for your support.